Cusp of Scorpio and Sag. Man, I have a lot of energies on the cusp of Cancer and Leo, which is another water fire cusp. And so many of my friends have energies on this cusp, whether it's Sun or Venus or Mercury or Rising or whatever. I really love this cusp. It's a very interesting, very contradictory cusp in a lot of ways. I mean, you have, just like with every cusp energy, you have two very different. Hold on, let me close the door. It's distracting. We have two very different energies at play. It's very curious that our solar system functions that way, perhaps the universe, that there are no two similar energies next to each other. For example, you don't have two water signs next to each other. There's no cusp like that. It's always one sign and then a very hugely different other one. So in this case, we got Scorpio, emotional, sensitive, mysterious, a little dark. Dark isn't necessarily a bad thing too, you know. I mean, Scorpio thrives in the depths where everyone else is scared to tread, even other water signs sometimes. And Scorpio's all about transformation, moving to the next step. So it has some things in common with Sag, but Sag is all about progress too, next step and all that. But it's very much more about playfulness, adventuring, being willing to throw everything you have into life, to be absolutely enthusiastic and just childlike in that enthusiasm, which is a beautiful thing. You know, all the fire signs are childlike in that way. Are childlike in that way, and when you have this mixture of energies, it's a very endearing combination. I have Gemini, so I know I'm biased because Gemini and Sag are partner signs, but that combination of the scorpionic depth, the scorpionic emotional intensity, and we should explore that a little bit real quick. Scorpios aren't, as you know, I'm guessing you're the one who is on this cusp. Scorpios aren't intense for ego reasons. They're not intense. I mean, they can be, but usually, and at their best, they're not intense for those reasons. They're intense because they really are in tune. Scorpio energy is deeply rooted and in tune to the collective unconscious of this planet and beyond. And, you know, it's said to be ruled in part by Pluto, which is a very fascinating planet, or dwarf planet, or whatever it's classified as now, because basically all the other astronomical bodies in our solar system function, they orbit around the sun on the plane of the solar system. So they're all going around the sun basically in more or less the same degrees. Pluto is fascinating. It goes along this track, but it does it in like a 19-degree split. So here we go. Say this is the plane of the solar system, sun, all the planets like this. Pluto's like that, basically. And so it's following it, but it's very different. And it's interesting because I have a theory about Pluto, because Pluto is so damn powerful. It's been used for, I don't know when it was discovered, but for a couple of decades now, and I definitely see the worth in studying this planet, dwarf planet, whatever. Pluto, my theory, is a circuit for a stronger, more powerful energy, hence why we have that intensity to Scorpio. Yes, Scorpio is also ruled by Mars, so we get that warrior-like energy, but not warrior-like, warrior energy. But there's something deeper. There's something that Scorpio has that Aries doesn't, and that's where I see that Pluto influence. It's really curious. I want to say that it's in the Kuiper Belt, basically the second asteroid belt in our solar system, the one that's beyond Neptune. This other planet, this other astronomical entity that is influencing the Earth through Pluto. But long story short, from my astrological research, it definitely, Scorpio and Pluto, there's something connected, because Scorpio is very much connected to an outer planet vibration that most other signs aren't familiar with, don't even think about. And so that's why you have Scorpio being very misunderstood, unfortunately, sometimes. Especially by the inner planet, signs, people much more dominated by Mercurial energy, Venusian energy, Martian, and even Jupiterian. So, we have that, all of that Scorpio power, depth, outer planet influence, combined with what? Sag, Jupiter, this kind of buoyant, incredibly adventurous, exploring energy. What a fascinating combination to have energies on this cusp, and especially, sun, rising, moon, one of the main ones. Damn, it's an incredible gift when you add the philosophical understandings of Sag, which is vast, truly vast. Sages are absolutely the best philosophers. In fact, they're natural philosophers. They don't even have to study philosophy. Their entire way of life, their entire outlook, their entire perspective is very much all about trying to understand. Just like Gemini. But Sag does it in a kind of more, well, they both do it abstractly, but Sag does it a little bit more inspired, in a more subjective way. Whereas Gemini kind of plans things out, Sag is just, fuck it! I'll figure it out! And, that's one of the beautiful things about Sag energy, and especially this cusp, is Scorpio can get very paranoid. Very paranoid. Can get very trapped in fears and pains. I mean, it's pretty understandable when considering that a Scorpionic person is very much in tune with the collective unconscious. That's not the prettiest place to be right now. Is it getting better? Yes. Was it even harder some couple decades ago when racism was more prevalent and sexism was more prevalent and homophobia, not to mention wars, so entire regions of the earth hating each other, sending horrible anger and pain energies to each other. Is it better than those times? Yes. Is it still really fucking challenging because us as a planet karmically are working through some major obstacles? Yes, it's fucking challenging. It really is. And we all have Scorpio somewhere in our charts. And, for the last 50 years, I think the outer planets have been transiting it. I know Uranus was in Scorpio in the early 80s. Neptune before that in the 70s. Was that right? Maybe 60s, late 60s, something like that. But then Pluto in Scorpio, my natal chart placement. So, damn. There's a lot of Scorpio been going around. There's a dog. Hey, come here. Let's go. Come here. Come on, stop trying to kill the door. Meow meow. Meow meow.